Life is weird.
Super weird.
So, what did we decide to do with our fascination for the strange and unusual?
We made a podcast about it. This is Weirdify. Now,
let's get weird. Okay, now we're live.
We're live.
Welcome to
What's the Weird? Número 3.
Número 3.
Número 3. Episode number 3 of What's Weird.
Episode number 3 of What's Weird. She jumped an octave.
I jumped an octave.
Yes, this is where we read your emails and stories that you have sent us in back to you. Thank you, listeners, friends, and family alike, for writing in.
Yeah, thank you for experiencing creepy stuff so we don't have to. Or weird stuff. It's not necessarily creepy. But
technically we are experiencing it in a sense.
Actually, yeah, that's true. We are legit reading the emails and whatever that you've written in.
Thank
word
you.
for word. We have not pre-screened these.
Nope. We try to never do that. It makes it more fun.
We want our reactions to be 100% authentic.
100%.
100%. Pure authentication.
Should we talk about how this is going to go up in lieu of like a regular episode?
You may have heard, should I mention the thing about, because we talked sort of about life changes on the last episode that we just recorded. So as we mentioned in our last episode, life happens for both Amanda and myself. And so this What's the Weird episode is going to be coming out in lieu of a regular episode, just for the sake of time. Again, things change and we adjust and we acclimate and we make it work.
Yep.
And we still want fun content for you guys. And so for this round of What's the Weird, it's going to come out again in lieu of a regular episode.
Because normally, well, at some point we would just love all the emails of all the weird things that have happened to all of you guys. And at that point, we'll read them, in between our regular episodes. But there are some big things in the works, and this is just what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Nothing is changing on the podcast.
No.
We're just putting this up in lieu of a normal episode instead of in between.
Yeah, exactly. And, big stuff in our personal lives, big stuff with Weirdify, big stuff just in general. So we appreciate you guys for continuing to listen, and we hope that you enjoy this episode.
And we hope that you write in.
And we hope that you write in so that we can bring these back to in between regular episodes.
Yes.
But our next episode will be another regular episode.
Yes.
In the next 2 weeks.
Something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Yeah. I'll start.
All right. Take it away, Haley.
All right. Oh, gosh. I didn't even try to load this before. I probably should have tested it.
That's okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So this first one comes from my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Deborah.
Oh, it's fairly short. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. She titled it My Paranormal Event. I once had a swirling fish made out of wood. The end. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, I was like, that what? Deborah, I'm concerned.
Oh, I think I'm supposed to possibly fill in the blanks. Okay, I'm just going to read it through.
Okay.
And then I'll fill in any blanks if it doesn't make sense. Okay. Right. So my paranormal event. I once had a swirling fish made out of wood. It was the morning of her death, and she went fishing from the dock. Her long blonde hair, a dress, and no shoes as her wooden twin swirled. The wooden mobile had a backdrop of mountains, rock-like, a suspended woman lying horizontally with her blonde hair falling over her shoulders and holding a fishing pole and a fish. The mobile connected with me when I bought it years before. Why did my mobile swirl that day? I believe it was for her to say goodbye. She was 1 year and 9 months younger and my partner in crime, as kids say. My sister died suddenly in an accident on November 27th, 2008. She flipped an ATV into a river inlet with rocks and landed in the water face up. It was a complete surprise to her that she would die that day as she whispered apologies to her fiancé. He was in the icy water with her, and that chill of the water kept her alive about 45 minutes. She was sorry, she said. She had really screwed up their plans.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was really sad. I could see her in the water from the road up above where she lay, about 25 feet above her. I was directing traffic as the news traveled fast about the accident, and she was one of about 7 riders. I was praying with my other sister and keeping the calm. People were close by, and the emergency response vehicle and helicopter had been dispatched. It was Thanksgiving, and the entire family was together. The details of the pain that day will remain in my mind, and thankfully for you, I will not share these details. The mobile was only hung in my sister's old room a few weeks before her death. I was certain as it began to spin that it was my sister's energy. You see, there was no open window, no open door, the fan was not on, and the heater was off. I felt as if I could say the things that summarized the 48 years we had together. The feeling of certainty that the spinning mobile was my sister was clear to me in that moment. I had never experienced anything like that ever in my life. She has been gone for almost 13 years, and no other paranormal activities have occurred. This is a very personal story. I'm happy to share it if others find comfort in it.
Mm.
So, yeah, my aunt, like my mom said, passed away in an ATV accident in 2008. It was very sudden. It was on Thanksgiving Day of 2008. And the mobile my mom's talking about, like she said, was made of wood, and it had the woman with blonde hair with the river and the rocks behind her. And she had it hanging from the ceiling in the downstairs bedroom of my mom's house at the time, where my aunt had lived with us twice. And she was very particular about her space, very particular about that being her room and her private area. Excuse me. And in our dreams episode, Amanda and I had touched on the paranormal experience that we shared together, where we felt this entity or this presence that didn't want us there, wasn't going to hurt us, but didn't want us there. And although my mom felt like it was my Aunt Lorna, like in this positive experience, the presence that we felt, if it was Lorna, was definitely very like, get out of my room, this is my space kind of a thing. But again, didn't feel like it was gonna like cause any physical harm to us, but definitely didn't want us there. And I did not have a good or a bad relationship with my Aunt Lorna. I never really knew her very well, so hopefully that adds a little bit of clarity. Well, thank you, Mom, for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it.
That was vulnerable and writing in something so touching.
Yeah, that was very vulnerable, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, not so good stuff. Kind of morbid stuff, but beautiful story.
Absolutely.
I hope it was Lorna saying goodbye.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. So this does not have a title, so I'm just going to jump into it.
Okay.
This is my most disgusting case. It was also my first experience with a dead body. When I was a young cop, I was assigned to service civil processes like wage garnishes, bank garnishes, levies, liens, subpoenas, till taps, and evictions. An eviction takes time. First, a notice to, quote, pay or quit is posted on the front of the door. Then a 30-day notice, a 15-day notice, and finally a 3-day notice is posted. Sometimes the eviction can take up to a month or more. At the end of the 3-day notice, I would show up to do the official lockout. It would usually be me, the owner/landlord, and a locksmith to change the locks. This was in a really bad, gang-riddled area between University and El Cajon Boulevard. Very trashy, low-rent apartments. So after all of my court postings, the day had finally come to do the final lockout. I was there mainly to make sure that the occupant/occupants left, and made sure that the owner/landlord and locksmith were safe and not attacked. I did the whole cop knock and notice, no answer. Looking at my court papers, this apartment was leased to a young Asian girl in her early 20s without any other tenants listed. Easy peasy, right? Well, after knock and notice, the landlord had the keys and proceeded to unlock and open the door. It was summer in San Diego and fairly warm.
Oh, no.
As soon as he opened the door, we were hit in the face with the immediate, unmistakable smell of death. Human death. The smell of death and decomp is both indescribable and unforgettable. Oh, there's so many capitals. The smell of capitalized death and decomp is capital, both indescribable and capital unforgettable.
Emphasis.
Right? It's thick. The air is heavy. It hits all your senses at the same time. You can taste it. It gets into your clothes, your pores, your hair, everything. Both the landlord and locksmith took off. They were either dry heaving or vomiting, and they both ran down the stairs to get away from the smell. Unfortunately, had to clear the apartment and find out where the smell was coming from.
Oh my gosh.
It was 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. After not finding anything, I tried the bathroom door, but it was locked from the inside. The locksmith outside refused to come in and unlock the door, so I had to kick the door in. Luckily, that was easy because the extreme low quality of hollowed door and frame. Okay. Welp, I immediately found out where the smell was coming from. There was a very, very, very large naked woman in the bathtub. She had obviously been in there for a long time, weeks and weeks. There was active bug activity, blowflies, and maggots. As soon as the door opened, I was being hit by enormous blowflies. There was also severe tissue decompensation. The tissue seemed to be bubbling.
That's disgusting.
Ew.
I hate it.
This was my first experience with a dead body. Wow. Your very first one is
really
like
when
bloated.
Started it with a bang.
Maggots.
Oh, gross.
Oh my gosh. And like unknowing. Like if you're like, oh, we have like a crime scene, you know you're walking into a dead body. Right. You just think it's like standard.
You think it's just someone who won't leave their apartment. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay, wow. This was my very first experience with a dead body outside of the morgue observing an autopsy while in the police academy. Not knowing how this woman had become dead, I backed out and called for both San Diego Homicide and San Diego Coroner's Office. In the meantime, I was able to locate the woman's wallet and found a driver's license to match the name on the lease. However, the woman's license said she was 103 pounds. The woman in the bathtub was easily 400 plus.
Oh my gosh.
The landlord also confirmed that the renter was a very petite, small-sized woman of Asian descent. Maybe this was a relative. Both the homicide detectives and county coroner showed up at about the same time. I filled them in on what I knew and then followed them inside. The coroner almost immediately confirmed that the woman inside the bathtub was the same young, thin woman depicted in the picture on her driver's license. This was the renter. I must have had a look of total disbelief. That's when the coroner confirmed that when she died by suicide, slit her wrists, that her body had absorbed all of the water in the bathtub, swelling her to this enormous size and making her completely unrecognizable.
Oh my gosh, poor thing.
I know. Oh, that is really sad. When it came time to move her, she exploded. Literally, her tissue just burst open like popping a water balloon. Oh my God. Woo!
I wasn't ready for that one.
Nope.
Oh my God.
They were able...
Oh, gross.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They were able to fish out her entire skeleton fully intact after she exploded.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The craziest thing is that they actually had to use a regular standard kitchen soup ladle to remove the rest of her. What? They don't come with like tools or like what does she have in the kitchen drawer?
Got a bottle opener and a ladle.
Great, we'll take the ladle.
Oh my gosh. Oh, gross. I mean, I guess it makes sense if her body just completely absorbed the water.
And then she popped?
Yeah. I mean, it's, if you think about it, like they said, like a balloon.
Just like taut?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ugh. The smell was so bad. I actually had to throw the entire uniform away. It permeated my entire body, my hair. I could smell it on me for weeks and weeks. Nothing could get the smell out. I even tried to cut my nose hairs out because the smell was stuck to them.
Oh my gosh.
Even the tiny hairs on my arms, eyelashes, eyebrows, yuck. As disgusting as this whole thing was, it was one of the coolest things I ever saw. What made me sad was that she had been there the whole time. So every time I was there to post something, she was inside decomposing. Okay, that's from Anonymous. That's wild. That was quite a journey.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for writing in.
I need to process.
I know. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah. That one was wild.
Oh, that one affected me, not
in a good way.
No, it was more than I anticipated it affecting me.
It was just a lot of roller coasters, right?
It just was like I think I've said this before, but it was like a snowball of awful. Like it just kept building and building and building and getting worse and worse and worse.
Even like her cutting out her nose hairs. Oof. Like just it didn't even end when it ended.
Oh my gosh. And I get that because like I'll smell like whenever I smell skunk or like something, it stays there all day, or like cat pee, or oh my gosh. So
That's rough, man. I hope it's out of you now. I hope you don't smell it now.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay, so this one, I believe he wanted it to... Okay, well, this is from my brother-in-law.
Okay.
One of my brothers-in-law. Hey, Haley. You might want to proofread this and maybe take what you want from my ramblings. I did not, Chandler.
There's his name.
This is very raw and real. I don't think reading this word for word would make a cohesive segment. Feel free to say whatever you want, name me, or whatevs. Oh, it's all good to me. Okay.
Great. Thanks, Chandler.
Thanks, Chandler.
You're the best.
I've had several experiences with sleep paralysis throughout the years. Looking back and trying to recall as much as I can is a bit difficult. My memory is shoddy, but I know I had quite a few occurrences when I was younger, like waking up from a nightmare only for it not to be over as I lie still in my bed, unable to even choke out a scream.
Oh my God.
Though the worst part is the foreboding sense of dread you get. Imagine that feeling you get while on a roller coaster as you go down the steep incline. Do you know that feeling your stomach gets? It feels light and it feels like it's being lifted, right? Now imagine the opposite and move that feeling to your chest cavity where your heart is.
Ooh.
Now add a noticeably colder temperature to the weight, tugging your heart down while rewatching the scariest bits of horror movies that cause you to lose sleep, and you'll get a vague idea of what the terror that comes with sleep paralysis feels like.
This is why I don't watch horror movies.
Beautifully written, Chandler.
Yeah, I'm scared shitless.
For me, they always usually have a pattern. I always wake up to get them. I almost always am on my back when it happens. When I can see something, it is usually extremely tall and they never move. Thinking back to the most vivid memory I can recall was back when I used to sleep in a bunk bed with me on top while my older brother got the bottom. I woke on the top bunk from some nightmare I've since forgotten, but I still recall seeing something tall at the end of my bed, with a dark, misshapen head scraping the ceiling while it rests its chin at the foot of my bed. I suppose seeing things tall enough to reach me on the top bunk as a kid implanted that fear that kept almost all the subsequent things I saw during each episode was as tall as the room allowed. I know I had a few more throughout my school days as a junior in high school, but none of them are clear enough to mention. I do know that practically almost all the times I had sleep paralysis was when I was on my back. So since I started sleeping on my side when I was back in high school, they've nearly stopped happening. When I used to get them, they were mostly the same, with me waking up to something tall standing menacingly in the room, never moving or making a sound. Thankfully, I don't get them as often, maybe once a year or two. The more recent ones I can remember happening was when I was in Japan. He lived in Japan for, oh my gosh, I want to say like 3 or 4 months. Sorry if that's wrong, Chandler. It was a good long while, though. This one stuck out to me, and I can recall it better than most because of how different it was from the rest. Firstly, this was the only time I ever had sleep paralysis that was not in my room. Secondly, this was the only time I didn't see something in the room with me. Everything else was the same. I couldn't move nor speak. My heart was hammering, and I had the sense of dread while I scanned the unfamiliar room. Maybe it was because I knew I was in a new room, so I wasn't used to the layout, but I couldn't see anything that didn't belong when I was awake, unlike my room where I know in a heartbeat if something is out of place. Other than that, I had a string of 3 episodes already in the new house. Oh, other than that, I had a string of 3 episodes already in the new house. Oh, but 2 happened while, this is the house they live in now. But 2 happened while I was quitting smoking, so it was probably just the added stress or withdrawal that helped trigger them. The first one was the typical tall thing just chilling in the front of the doorway.
Oh my gosh.
What I remember the most was the long limbs that it had. Despite standing at my door, it was able to reach the rails of the foot of my bed 5 feet away. Its palms were about as... I know, this is awful. Its palms were about as wide as dinner plates, and its fingers snake up the bed to about where my knee was.
Oh my god.
As usual, it just stood there until the paralysis ended. The second one was the worst in my opinion, only because it didn't follow the usual pattern of tall things standing nearby. When I woke up, the thing was directly above me. It had its arms on either side of my head, arms straight, almost like it was going to do a push-up. However, it had long arms, so it was about halfway up the ceiling. The memory is blurry, but I can recall a bit about its face. It was like it was made of black clay, smooth, lacking in detail, like it was just the rough draft of a sculpture.
Like Voldemort?
I don't know. Just a rudimentary placement of where features should be, except the nose was pushed in flat. I guess so. Kind of like Voldemort. And the mouth circled around its head past its eyes, but not completely connecting on its forehead.
Oh!
The final and most recent one was earlier this year, and the first one I had while on my side instead of sleeping on my back. I awoke facing the edge of the bed to a face-to-face with something with an incredibly long muzzle.
Oh.
Like the ones before, it had no details, just a rough outline of features that should be there. For me, the most important bit about this was the first time the thing moved. The entire time I laid there until it ended. Its nose at the end of its muzzle flared rapidly in and out like it was breathing. Chandler, those are all awful. And I'm so sorry that I asked you to write in and relive all of those awful nightmares.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Wow.
Thank you.
My nose was running. That was making me so nervous.
Yeah, that was,
Amanda was just like, I'm just going to play with these rocks. I'm just going to focus on the rocks.
I feel like I did that. Oh, maybe it wasn't for What's the Weird. Sometimes I just, like, grab the crystals in here and I'm just like, I'll just put it in my hand. And maybe this one, too.
Which is every little bit helps.
Woo, okay.
That was a rough one. Ooh, thank you, Chandler.
I'm very thankful for those words.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Please don't have nightmares tonight.
You won't.
Okay.
You won't. All right. I have no idea what to expect from this last one. I don't know if it's going to be happy or sad, but hopefully it's happy.
I guess we can only go up from there.
So this is from our listener, Haley. And she is the one who suggested us to do the dreams topic. And she wrote in about some dreams or a dream. I'm not sure what's in this, but the subject is dreams.
Okay.
All right. I've always had dreams where I can't control my body. Oh, great. We're off to the races.
We're off to see the demons of sleep paralysis.
Okay. She says, oh my God, either I'm paralyzed or can't move, or I'm doing something and I don't want to and I can't stop.
Ew, that's even worse to me.
Horrible.
Than sleep paralysis. Actually tangibly moving and she can't stop it?
Yeah, either I'm paralyzed and can't move, or I'm doing something I don't want to and can't stop.
No. Hate that. Hate it.
So I don't think it's going to be happy.
I think we've took a turn.
I don't think it's going to be happy. Thank you, Haley. All right. In one of the most memorable dreams I've had, I was walking through a parking garage alone. I hear the faint sound of male voices laughing, animalistic in their comments. Ugh.
Gross.
I investigate. Why? Only to find 2 men harassing this girl. She looked absolutely terrified, but she wasn't screaming or fighting them. Everything in my body told me to stop them, to run to them and fight for her, but I was paralyzed, unable to move, unable to scream, unable to fight for her. I felt hopeless and helpless. All I could do was watch as they push her to the ground and do unspeakable things. And then the point of view switched. All of a sudden, I was the girl.
Wait, is this a dream?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I was like, oh my God. I missed the whole dream bit. Sorry.
I felt their hands on my body. I heard their chuckles and I saw the evil in their eyes. But again, I was paralyzed. I couldn't scream. I couldn't defend myself. I still felt so hopeless and helpless. There was nothing I could do. I woke up drenched in sweat and absolutely terrified. Switch perspectives. God. I've never heard of that.
Me neither. I mean, it's awful, especially given the situation that she was in.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. That's awful. I'm so sorry, Haley.
Yeah. In another dream, I was driving, which has always given me anxiety, but this time, specifically, my legs go numb. I can't stop. Somehow the car wouldn't slow either, and I just kept running into things. Sorry, that's not funny.
She's laughing because she's uncomfortable.
Running people over, running into cars. I didn't want to. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But my arms wouldn't stop steering. The car wouldn't stop moving. It was so fast, so loud, and chaotic. I know there are many things that can influence our dreams. I've always wondered what occurred at the moment in my life to trigger those dreams. A book I read, a commercial I watched, a conversation I overheard. The smallest actions or even a single sentence can influence a whole scene while we sleep that feels like it lasts for days when truly it's only minutes or hours. Our subconscious is a strange concept. It can only make our dreams terrifying, and I mean paralyzingly so. Oh, it can make our dreams terrifying, and I mean paralyzingly so. But it can also make our dreams so unbelievably euphoric and joyful, like winning the lottery or flying. I'd love to hear some of your own crazy dreams that have truly rattled you to the core.
Wow.
Thank you, Haley.
Yes, thank you, Haley. At least it didn't involve, like, shadow fingers slowly reaching up your bed.
I don't like that her point of view switched, though. That really, like, freaks me out.
Yeah, that's upsetting. I want to know if the girl that she was looking at when it was her perspective and she was like an onlooker of the situation, if the girl looked like her.
Ooh. I don't know.
That would be so interesting because we only know what we look like in pictures and a mirror.
Isn't that a trip?
Yeah. I think about that actually probably more often than I realize.
Than most?
I do it. I think about that all the time. Like, I'm always like, I wish I was like on outside looking in so I could see what I look like to other people.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's not for like a vanity thing. It's just like, I wonder what, as like a 3-dimensional, because technically, I guess technically I'm I obviously am 3-dimensional, but like in a mirror, does that then become a 2-dimensional thing because I'm just flat, like on a flat surface? Even if I turn sideways, it's just like a flat silhouette. You know what I mean?
An interesting question. You have no idea.
Versus if you stand in front of me and you like spin and it's a very clear like 360-degree picture of things.
Ugh, I don't know. I'm going with 2-dimensional. But if it's a portal, there's probably more dimensions.
No portals. Okay. Well, yes, portals. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah. Wow. Not all of those were terrifying. A lot of those were very sad. One was very gross.
Mm-hmm. And the other two
were not great.
Remember?
As far as happy.
When we talked about dreams and I talked about false awakening dreams, where you wake up in your dream and then you wake up in real life.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you mean like Inception or whatever, where it's like layered?
That happened when I was on my trip.
Really?
Uh-huh. And it's like my own, I'm sure, just like I always have to be on time. If there's things I need to get done before like an event happens, it's just like the only thing that my mind can think about.
Mm-hmm.
And so we stayed at this house for like a week, just Alex and me, and then we had the homeowners come, and then like his mom and stepdad and brother came. And so the day that everybody was supposed to be showing up that morning, we didn't really know what time they were coming. We just knew that they were coming from like an hour and a half away, so maybe they were going to leave at 8 or 9. Like, we didn't really know what the ETA was for them. And so there was things that we wanted to do to the house before they came. Like, we were switching beds, so we were going to wash the sheets on the bed and just, I don't know, pick up a few things. I don't know. We just had stuff that we wanted to do, and like we needed to move our stuff to a different room, blah, blah, blah. And so I had woken up at one point and it was like 7:30 and I was like, okay, I feel like I can sleep for a little bit longer. And then in my dream, I went back to sleep and I woke up and they were pulling in and we were both still in bed. And I was like, oh crap, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything that we wanted to do. We're just asleep. I wanted to take a shower and now I'm just like morning breath and they're just going to be like walking up here in a second. And I was just like, honey, like you got to get up. We need to start doing all these things that we needed to do. And then I woke up. I was like, it's time to get up.
So your brain, I mean, I guess in a way it was like sleep paralysis. You just weren't awake yet.
Yeah.
So your brain was...
I don't think it was sleep paralysis.
That's what I'm saying. But it was like the idea of your body just wasn't ready to do what it needed to do, but your brain knew what you needed to do. So it was a very lifelike
It was like
experience.
I was like, that's fine if you want to go to sleep, but we're going to go ahead and dream that they showed up. We're going to dream the worst case scenario, which is we're asleep when they roll up, which we had everything and more done that we wanted to get done when they showed up. But yeah, anyways.
Wow, that's so interesting. I've had dreams where like in the dream, it's an alarm, like an actual tangible, I think 90s, like alarm clock that's going off. But then it's my phone going off in real life. So I've like awoken and I'll hit the alarm clock and then I'll wake up to my actual alarm going off. But it's not the same.
Yeah.
Where
those
like
more
detailed.
The sounds around you are incorporated into your dream.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't know why that's kind of just like weird to me because it's like you're sort of halfway
there. It's happened to me a lot, actually.
It has happened to me too. But it's like you're halfway there. You're not totally asleep.
Yeah.
You're hearing things going on in the real world, but your body is not registering that.
Yeah. And it's weird because I have a split second where I'm legit like, because my alarm is the vintage 90s, like da na 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 na, from like the beginning of Disney VHSs. And so it's a very specific sound. And I'll hear it in my dream, and I'll remember, like, I know that I tell myself, I'm like, oh, that's my phone going off. That's my phone alarm going off.
In your dream?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
that's weird.
Yeah, but then it's like sometimes it'll take the form of another alarm, or it'll be like 3 to 5 seconds before I actually get up and wake up and like turn off my alarm. But sure enough, my alarm is going off. It's weird.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, everybody, for writing in.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciated all of your stories, no matter how scary or gross.
Yep. And
or sad.
We would love more of them. So if you would like to write in your story to us about anything, really, there's really no parameters.
Yeah, we like a good scare. We like a good weird fact. We like a good fetish. We like a good, I don't know, whatever else.
Aliens. Oh, I want to hear alien stories so bad. Please give me your alien stories. I mean, yeah, we've covered quite a few topics and we have many more in store. So any of the topics we've covered and then
beyond.
Some. Yeah. You can write to us at weirdifypodcast@gmail.com or on our Make Contact tab on our website, weirdifypodcast.com.
Yes. And again, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Weirdify Podcast.
That's the one.
And we hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming on the next one.
Yes. And sleep tight.
Yep. Don't let the shadow people bite.
Oh, wow. And keep
it